Welcome to Roy's Retro Reviews, Episode 2. Today, I, Roy Manan, will be looking at the Simpsons Arcade Game, originally released in 1991. So, for those who've never heard of the Simpsons Arcade, it's only an arcade game back in the 90s. I grew up during the 90s, and I remember going to arcades specifically to play this game with my dad, because it's one of the few games he would actually play with me. There was other games I played at the arcade, but Simpsons was usually one of the first ones I went to. It's also because I'm a fan of the show, or at least the early show. I haven't watched a lot of the newer ones because it kind of started going on a downhill slide recently, in my opinion. But let's get into an actual review. So the story of the Simpsons arcade game is Mr. Smithers has just stolen a diamond, which, due to a run-in with the Simpsons, accidentally ends up in Maggie's mouth. So Smithers decides to kidnap Maggie, and the rest of the Simpson family has to go save Maggie from Mr. Smithers. Now, it is never explained why Mr. Smithers stole a diamond and what Mr. Burns wants with said diamond. I mean, the man's richer than, some of the richest people in the universe, according to the show, so him trying to steal it made very little sense when he could just eat. Well, I guess if he doesn't want to pay for it, that could be why. But the point is, he stole the diamond. It's not really explained why. Like I said, the real motive behind the game is just trying to get Maggie back because she's been kidnapped. The story on itself, like I said, it's meh. It's more just a device to get the game going, like any early game for the most part. So gameplay is very simple. You have a jump and a punch. Not really much other than that. You can move up and down the screen and punch objects to get food and health. But in general, the game is actually very difficult because this was designed for arcades, and for those of you who are not familiar with arcades, their design is to take your money and make sure that you complete the game, but make sure you spend as much money on it as possible. To do this, they make it so it's ridiculously hard. There's very little life. You take damage a lot easier than your enemies do, and in general, just kind of be a pain and be very difficult. It's very hard to get through the entire game without dying. I know there's probably somebody on the planet that has done it. You, sir, are amazing if you're listening to this. But, my connection with this is more, like I said, back when I originally played it with my dad. And I love this game. It's fun. And like I said, it's that whole nostalgia thing with this one. I like picking this one up every now and then and just, playing all 8 levels. It's very short and it's very simple, but it is entertaining. And I always like trying to find all the cameos in the background. And on this playthrough, I was naming all of them, and luckily I remembered all of the names of every side character that appears in this show. I was kind of upset I didn't find a Pooh, though. Pooh's one of my favorite characters. So anyway, that's going to be it for this one. This one's going to be very short just because it's, like I said, it's an arcade game, so it's very basic. I guess, there is a bonus stage every now and then, since I just saw that in the video. I watch it while I'm doing the reviews to remind myself of things. That more or less just give you more points. They really serve no other purpose than that, and they're just kind of there. They add real no depth to this game for the most part, like any arcade game with mini games for points. So with that, I'm going to go into the rating system. So unlike the Rule of 3 reviews on Roy's Retro Review, I use a different system called the Nostalgia Factor. It is based off my memories and nostalgia of the game versus my recent playthrough and what I've actually felt about it. To do this, I use 4 categories. There is Classic, which is games that, I think are great still, even back then. I think everybody should go play them if you haven't. Find a way to emulate or, buy them on Xbox Live or PSN if they're available. Even if a game I thought was terrible, but now playing it, I tend to, I can see why it was, I'm going like, why did I like this? And find it as enjoyable as, other games I would put in this category. That also gets into the Classic. The second one is Fond Memories. Fond Memories is, I like the game. I like playing it every now and then just for, fun and memory lane. But on the whole, it doesn't hold up as well over time. It's still, enjoyable, but it's just not at that level of, awesome. That games that, I expect to be at this day and age to some extent. I remember it being better is exactly what it sounds like. I remember the game being better when I originally played it. I liked it. In fact, I may have loved it. But now my most recent playthrough, I'm trying to figure out, why did I like this game so much? What drives this one? and I just, in general, remember the game being better. And the last category is it's a piece of crap. If the game was a piece of crap when it was released, and it's still a piece of crap now, it gets in that category because they're just terrible games in general. And if you've played some of the ones that I have planned that fall into this category, I feel sorry for you. If you have not, stay away from them. And if there's an HD remake ever, don't buy it. Just don't. You're going to waste your money on terrible. So with that, I give the Simpsons Arcade fond memories. The gameplay is, doesn't hold up as well as it should. It still is I still enjoy playing through it every now and then. And, it is, like I said, I do like it to some extent, and I do think it's fun, but unlike, games like TMNT and the arcade game and a couple others, the Simpsons Arcade just doesn't hold up as well to some of them. So that's it for this episode. Stay tuned next week for another episode of Roy's Reviews. Make sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter, and definitely make sure to subscribe to our channel to get all the updates on all our video reviews. And that's it for this review. And I finally came up with a new catchphrase, and it'll probably be this unless I decide I hate it. And so I'll sign off with that. And always remember to keep those gaming memories alive.